Hey y'all, welcome to this week's video with Akati Grant Writing Services. My name is LaTwan and I'm the owner of Akati Grant Writing Services. On this channel, I provide free and quick tips and resources about the nonprofit grant writing process so that small and new nonprofits can learn more about how to add grants to your fundraising strategy. So in today's video, I'm going to share a little bit of information with you guys about boilerplate information. So I will let you know what boilerplate information is, how it's used in the grant writing process, and a few tips that you can use to prepare this information for your nonprofit to help you as you move forward in the grant writing process. So let's go ahead and jump in. So before we get into talking how boilerplate information is used in the grant writing process and what exactly you can expect to prepare for your boilerplate information, I think it's good for us just to define what boilerplate information is. Essentially, boilerplate information is any content, written content, anything like that can be reused over and over multiple times for a variety of different contexts or different applications without you having to write it over and over from scratch. It's information that you can create an original copy or original document and then reuse that information over and over multiple times without having to start from scratch or without having to make a lot of edits or changes to the original words or the original information. Sometimes this information can be simply copy and pasted depending on the context or the situation. Other times you may not be able to just directly copy and paste, but you will, just be able to make small edits and small tweaks here and there just to fit a particular application or a particular, process or need. But it's not information you have to start over from scratch every single time, because the content and the general message behind what you want to say remains the same. So this is very, very helpful when it comes to grant applications, because with grants, each application will have its differences and there will be different questions that you'll have to answer depending on the application. But there are a lot of times where a wide variety of applications will ask you for very similar information. So it's helpful for you to create an original document or a template or information bank. You'll hear it called different things. So a master document or information bank, boilerplate information, so that when you see these common questions or this, the same types of questions asking you for the same type of information come up, you'll have this document that you can always go back to reference without having to think of things, from scratch and reword it every single time. It'll just be there for you and you can quickly, use it to help you get through your process and apply for applications in a more streamlined way. So that is essentially the definition. So now let's talk about what are some examples of boilerplate information and how you'll see it in the grant application process. Okay, so now that we have the basic understanding of what boilerplate information is, I want to just introduce a few examples. For the sake of time, I'm just going to talk about 3 types of boilerplate information. There could be more that certain people would add to this list depending on who you talk to, but for this video, I'm just going to go over 3. So the first type of boilerplate information is your mission statement. So your mission statement obviously is the very foundation of why your organization exists, why you have your nonprofit and the programs that you offer to your community. The underlying mission and purpose of your organization typically does not change. Sometimes, after several years, if you're rebranding or repositioning your organization, you could potentially change your mission statement. But generally speaking, over the course of 12 months or 2 years, 3 years, your mission statement usually stays consistent. If you find that your mission statement is changing very often, that probably means that you need to take some time to really get clear on why you exist and what it is exactly your nonprofit is going to offer, or what problem you want to solve and the reason behind why you're starting your nonprofit. But for the most part, your mission statement, it just is what it is, and you can very easily just continue to use the same wording of your mission statement on a variety of applications. So this will be there 1 or 2 sentences about your mission statement, and then if you want to just add some more descriptions about what the overall purpose or goal of your organization is, that's fine as well. The second type of boilerplate information that you can include on this document are your case statements and your need statements. So sometimes case statements and need statements, those terms are used interchangeably. Sometimes they are the same. Other times, depending on the writing, they could be slightly different. But essentially, your case statement and your need statement is where you make your case for support. Is where you talk about why your organization is needed or why the programs that you're offering to your community are needed. And it's where you provide that supporting information through data or statistics and information about the demographics of the people in your community or who is participating in your program and the people who are benefiting or being served by your service or by whatever it is you're offering through your organization or through your programs. So this is important because the underlying reason why your organization exists or the problem that you are addressing in society also typically remains the same within 12 to 24 months. So within 1 to 2 years. When you are operating your nonprofit, you are staying consistent with what is the problem that you are addressing in the community, or what challenge or circumstance are you helping people overcome, or what positive benefit are you bringing to your community and to the people that you serve. So these things usually remain the same. So it's helpful for you to go ahead and create your need statement, create your case statement, so that you are prepared to answer questions about, why should the grant maker or why should the funder support what you're doing by giving you their grant. So you can go ahead and do the work up front to write your case statements, to describe the problem, introduce the data and the statistics behind, the problem that exists, how you know for sure this problem is significant, and how you know that your program is going to actually, bring a change or resolve this problem and create impact in your community. The third type of boilerplate information that I want to mention in this video is your success metrics, which can also be called your accomplishments or your success stories. So this is where you would go ahead and write about all of the accomplishments and success that your organization, your program has had within the last 12 months or even since you first began. So just being able to be prepared to talk about what impact or what success have you already had, what changes have you already brought to your community that will support the efficiency or the effectiveness of your program. Essentially, you're asking a grant maker to give you funds, and they're going to want to know, why should we invest in what you're doing? Have you already been successful? Has your organization or your program already proven that you are capable of bringing the impact or accomplishing the goals that you're setting out to accomplish? And the best way to, answer those questions is by showing your success. And a lot of grant applications will actually, directly ask you, give us an example of a previous success story, or tell us about the accomplishments or what you've been able to achieve within the last year. So when you're in the moment, instead of you having just to fumble around and think about, what have we done? What did we accomplish? What change did we actually bring? Have we even been successful? If you have your boilerplate information, you can easily just reference this document to say, we have it right here. Here's our bullet points, or here's the wording of what we've been able to accomplish, and you're prepared and ready to go to answer those types of questions. So one thing that I want to mention about this portion of boilerplate, so your accomplishments and your success stories, before I move on, is that you want to make sure you can support your claims with the evidence. So instead of just saying, we've been able to make a great impact in our community, we've helped change people's lives, you want to make sure you can include very specific data points to say, last year we produced a 30% increase in access to, whatever benefit it is you're providing, or we helped X amount of people decrease whatever challenge it is they're facing by 45%. So getting specific to really show the evidence or the receipts of what you're saying you've actually been able to accomplish is really important, so that you're not just using fluff or blanket statements to overstate or be dramatic about, what you've accomplished. So now that I've just briefly went over the 3 types of boilerplate information that you can prepare or expect to, need available for the grant writing process, I want to end off with just 4 practical steps that you can take to prepare this boilerplate information to make sure you're ready to move forward in the grant application process. So the first tip or first thing that you can do is reserve a day. Okay, so with grant applications, it can be tempting to think that you just sit down and just rush through and just put information into the application and just hurry it along. But really what you want to do is slow yourself down, slow down the process, and give yourself time to really think about this information to make sure that you are producing quality information that's well thought out, well thought through, and really does paint a good picture of your organization. Because since this is boilerplate information, it's information that you're going to be using a lot. You're going to be putting this information onto a lot of grant applications. So if it's information that you're going to be putting out there on a lot of different applications, you want to make sure that it's really quality writing and that it's really capturing the information that's the most important and that will really help your organization shine in grant applications. So the second tip or the second thing that you can do is gather your team. So get your team together. If you're working by yourself, maybe just get 1 or 2 other people, maybe some people from your board of directors, or if you already have people on your staff, so that you are not just relying on yourself to get all the information together. You want to make sure you have other people who can help you brainstorm, who can help you edit your information, who can help you, put this together, and it won't be as stressful for you because it won't all be on your own shoulders. So that's really important. And the third thing, or the third step that you can take, is to gather your data and your statistics. So this is why it's important to reserve a day so that you can really, sit down and not feel stressed out to rush the research process. Because sometimes, finding data, finding that research is not a very easy process. Sometimes you have to dig, you have to read articles, read publications, search the web, to find the information that you really need. So you want to just make sure you're in the right space to really be able to get that data and get the information that you need to develop your case statements and develop your need statement that will really, create a well-written, evidence-based, proven reason to support why your organization is important and why your organization should be operating to meet this specific need in the community, and have that data and evidence to support the claim that you're making. Now, if you can't find the data out there on the internet, or maybe there hasn't already been publications to verify or prove this problem that you're wanting to solve, that's when you would need to make your own plan to figure out how are you going to do this research to prove that this problem you want to solve exists and that it's important for people to support what you're doing to help you address this problem. So make sure you think that through to gather all the data that you need. Now, the fourth and last thing that you can do is do a mass report review. Now, this is essentially where you would take a walk down memory lane. So If your organization has been operating for some time, it's likely that you have some reports from the past, areas where you've taken notes, areas where you've written down any accomplishments that you've had, or even people who have been volunteering with your organization for some time, your board of directors, people who have been helping you out, your staff members, and really just taking a walk down memory lane to ask yourself, over the last 12 months or over however long we've been in existence, what have we actually accomplished? What things are we proud of that we can really use on our grant applications to really, show that we have been effective at what we do, that we've actually been bringing impact and bringing change to our community, that what we do has made a difference, and that we really should be invested in because we've already been, out in the community doing good work. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope that this information was helpful, that you heard something that you can use for your organization to help you get together your boilerplate information and feel more prepared to move forward in the grant writing process. Don't forget that we are offering digital training that you can enroll in, which will teach you more about the full grant writing process. If you want to know more about how to find grant opportunities, what grant makers look for in their organizations they support, what types of questions are on the grant applications, and how you can prepare your organization, be sure to check out the link in the description box that will take you to more information about our introduction to grant writing that you can enroll in. And of course, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, to make sure that when you go forward, anytime we post a new video, you can always be up to date, and stay tuned for the future information that we share with you. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.